Look up from below before they climb into the capsule.
Now, Crew 5 is NASA and SpaceX's 5th crew rotation to the International Space Station since 2020. This successful NASA program is called Commercial Crew. It's based right here at the Kennedy Space Center. Time now to join Megan Cruz. She is live on top of the Operations and Support Building number 2 with one of the leaders of this program. Megan.
Daryl, thank you so much. Yes, we are here with Phil McAllister, Director of NASA's Commercial Space Division. Phil, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, today, we just saw the crew arrive at the pad. This is NASA's Crew 5 with SpaceX. How has working with these commercial companies benefited NASA?
So we both benefit. I think that's what's key with these partnerships. Obviously, SpaceX benefits from our 50 years of human spaceflight experience, but we also benefit by seeing these commercial companies and how they do business and how innovative they can be.
Right.
And we find there's new by benefiting both groups. It's kind of like when we first started working with the Russians. They had a very different way of doing business, and I think both programs benefited from that experience.
Right, but it's not just the Commercial Crew program. How else have we fostered commercial space and sending more people and science to low Earth orbit?
Well, I think it also space stations. We know the space station, the International Space Station, is going to be retired in 2030. We need to have continuous access to space and a destination to go to. So now we want commercial companies to build a private space station where we can just be one of many customers.
Yeah, and to that end, what are we doing to encourage that?
We have 4 agreements and contracts with companies now: Axiom Space, NanoRacks, Blue Origin, and Northrop Grumman. They all have different concepts, and they all have different transportation modes, and they all are kind of targeting different markets. So it's really interesting. This is sort of the early development time.
Okay.
And I think things will shake out. I don't think we'll have a big enough market to keep 4 space stations on orbit. So this is the time when they innovate and they're competing, and it's kind of cool to see each one of these stations and how they develop.
And again, why is this important to us? Why do we want to be one of many customers in low Earth orbit?
So I think there's lots of reasons. Number one, when we first started building the International Space Station, there wasn't any other space stations that we could use at that time, so NASA had to build it. But today, we can leverage private sector investment because there are other customers other than NASA who want to go to low Earth orbit, and either for science or just to look out the window or whatever, for whatever reason. So we can take advantage of that. We don't have to pay for the entire infrastructure.
Right.
We can just be a customer and just pay our own sort of fare for what we do. And so it's more beneficial for NASA, and then we can take that savings and put it into our Moon Mars initiative. I really feel like the Artemis mission, the SLS and the Orion that was on the pad and we will hopefully launch next month,
Yep.
I don't think it would be as far along as it is today if it weren't for our commercial partnerships, because they help save us money, and we could take that savings and put it into our deep space exploration programs.
Yeah, and you said personally this is what you've been working on for years now. How does it make you feel knowing that, as you just said, you know, the success we've had with commercial space is really fueling what we will see in the future with NASA?
It's been very gratifying. I have to say, you know, when we were first starting out, I had to say, help save us money, and we could take that savings and put it into our deep space exploration programs.
Yeah, and you said personally this is what you've been working on for years now. How does it make you feel knowing that, as you just said, you know, the success we've had with commercial space is really fueling what we will see in the years now? How does it make you feel knowing that, as you just said, you know, the success we've had with commercial space is really fueling what we will see in the future with NASA?
It's been very gratifying. I have to say, you know, when we were first starting out, I had to say, I think this will work. I think this is going to be a better way to do this particular mission. But I didn't have any proof. But then in 2012, we launched the first Falcon to the International Space Station for the cargo program.
Right.
That showed that the model could work. And then in 2020, we had Bob and Doug, who flew on the Demo 2 mission, went to the International Space Station. That was just, it was just an amazing mission.
That's great. Yeah, yeah. And Bob, he's co-hosting the show today, so that's full circle how we're coming there.
Yes.
Can you imagine? It's Crew 5, and just a couple of years ago, we had Bob flying for the first time with Doug.
I know, it is amazing. I was just telling some of my relatives, I was like, oh, this is the 5th one, and they're like, what? How did it happen so fast?